This tutorial is brought to you by my patrons. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I understand that some of you may not be able to support, but for the ones who want to, and for the ones who can, go to patreon.com/imass21 and donate. Alright, so check me out. Kind of want to get rid of some of this merch I got. So I have two new tiers on my Patreon. I have the $20 tier and I have the $30 tier. For the $20 tier, this is what you get. Alright, so for my $30 subscribers, you get issues 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my original series, Jog, Just an Ordinary Guy. And you also, it gets better, you get the first edition art book. There will be a second edition when the entire story is finished, but you get the first edition art book as well for $30 a month. Guys, you cannot beat this. Now, for the $20 subscribers, you get issues 1 and 2. You don't get the rest of these, so if you want all this, you got to do $30. It's $10 more. Can't beat that. But for the $20, you get issues 1 and 2 and everything else that's in the tier list. All right, subscribe, man. Subscribe. Patreon.com/imass21. Let's get it. Hey guys, alright, so basically I'm just going to answer a few frequently asked questions. You guys had the opportunity to ask these questions on my Instagram, on that little video that I posted a few days ago, so here we go. Alexandria Rosemary asked me, how would you describe your art style? That's kind of difficult to really answer. I mean, I guess you could say it's like a manga / anime / American comic. Like, it's like kind of a mix up between all three of those types. All right. X I don't even know how to say that shit. X Uninu Kaza. They asked, who was the last artist you commissioned? That's a good one. I don't really commission artists that much anymore. They don't really ask me to commission. It's mainly just like, clients, as far as like rap artists and people who want me to do logos for them and stuff like that. Like artists like myself, they don't really contact me like that. I guess because they're so busy worrying about their own thing, so they kind of don't need me for that. All right. Let me see. William T. Fox asks, what got you into art? I've been into art for a long time. I want to say when I was like 7 years old, I used to watch like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball and Pokemon and all that good stuff. So that's what really got me into like wanting to start my own thing, like create my own characters and stuff like that. No matter how shitty my art was, I was always drawing, like, so. And I'm 28 now, so I've been drawing pretty much my entire life. All right, so Anubis Cross asks, how did you start learning digital art, and what type of equipment do you recommend for beginning artists? I started learning digital art, believe it or not, in high school. I had a graphic design class, and they kind of taught us how to use like Photoshop and Illustrator. I didn't really pay that much attention with the Illustrator portion of it, but the Photoshop I was all in. And what I would do is I would like draw on paper, and I would use the classroom's scanner, and I would scan in my work, and then I'll color it. It was really, really, really bad, but I will color it, with Photoshop and all that stuff, and that's how I learned. And then I joined this website called DeviantArt, and I noticed a lot of people were using like tablets to draw on a computer. So I was like, I might as well try. I mean, I didn't think I was gonna be able to get one because I thought they were super expensive. But there was one called a Bamboo Fun tablet. It was like $70. I got it off like I think it was either Amazon or eBay. I can't remember. But like that was like my first tablet I've ever owned. Um, and it's one of those tablets that doesn't have a screen on it or anything, so you have to literally have good hand-eye coordination to get the right things. And I don't even know where all my old pictures are. Like, I think I probably deleted most of them because it was so trashy. I kind of regret it because I should have saved them up to see if I could redraw them or something like that. But it is what it is. Now, as far as like beginning artists, you could really get anything nowadays. Like, I was like this past Black Friday, I was in the Best Buy, and like almost every single computer had like tablet capabilities to it. They came with a pen and everything. So it's a lot of 2-in-1s out there now. So it's really not that hard to find something to get your feet wet in this digital art game. All right. Mooney Ma asked me, when did I start growing my dreads? I started growing them, I want to say in 2015. I think, yeah, 2015. And basically how they started growing like rapidly, I was using like Jamaican black castor oil. I still use it, but it's kind of expensive, so I use it sparingly because it's kind of expensive to get the 100% pure stuff. All right. Catherine voiceover asks me, how long have I been making art for people? I've been making art for people, like commissions and stuff like that, for a good like 4 years now. Like earlier, I mentioned that I was on DeviantArt, and I was doing like commissions, every now and then for a couple of artists on there. Then when I, moved over to Instagram, I was getting more clients from that. So that's how that went. Anubis Cross asks, what are some tips to grow your account? Your art account on Instagram, I guess you're asking. My best tips are to like, I guess, use a lot of hashtags, but don't just use random hashtags. You have to use like hashtags that are relevant to what you're posting. And on top of that, you don't really need to use a lot of hashtags that what's the word I'm looking for? You don't want to use a lot of hashtags that basically are like super duper popular. You want to use some that aren't really that popular, because if you it's hard to really explain this shit. Basically, if you use a hashtag that's not really popular and then you post, and if your image gets a lot of like likes and engagement and stuff, it'll get on like the top posts. So anybody who clicks on that hashtag will see your image in the top post. With those super popular hashtags, it's like super competitive to get in those top posts. So it'll almost be like your image is getting lost in the sauce. You feel me? So your best bet is to use the small hashtags and stuff like that. That's like the main thing you can do. Of course, you can post stories and stuff like that on your Instagram, but using the correct hashtags, I think, and using a lot of hashtags, I think also that I think the limit for hashtags on each post is 30. So if I were you, I would max out every single time until you don't really need to. Hell, I'm at almost at 11K and I still do it. You know what I mean? So just got to do what you got to do. All right. When you're TD time asks, when you're inking, what type of brushes do you use? Well, the program I use is Manga Studio / Clip Studio Paint, and I don't really use custom brushes like that. Only time I use a custom brush is when I'm digitally painting something, like. But as far as like inking and coloring, I use like the standard brushes that came with the program. I don't really delve into like editing brushes and stuff like that. I'm still actually learning the program, and I've been using the program for a good 4 years now, so it is what it is. I'm not aesthetically pleasing asks, how did you find your art style? Okay, this is a big question, because a lot of people like
have a hard time understanding how most artists find art styles. Basically, what you do is you find all kinds of artists and anything that inspires you. You take it, you put it in the blender, you blend it up, pour it in the cup, and that is your art style. That is like the best way to explain it. People will always say, "Oh, well, you're copying this artist or you're copying that artist." Not really. I mean, everybody copies from something. Everybody gets inspired from something. So, just make sure you're not copying completely from one artist and then because then they can be like, "Yeah, you're stealing from me." Like if you're gonna take certain things from one artist, like make sure you take that and mix it in with something else, like multiple things, not just one or two, but a whole bunch. That's how I came up with my style. Like I need to post. I posted a while ago what my inspirations are. I need to update it because my inspirations has changed a little bit, but for the most part, it's kind of stayed the same. So I do need to post it again so people can see how where my art styles came from. Um, that's all the questions. I mean, I figured there'll be more questions around here because a lot of people always hit my DM asking me for questions. I mean, asking me questions or whatever. But that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Um, if you got any questions, any more questions, type them in the comments and I'll try to answer below. All right. Thanks. Nothing like the movies, no, la la la. So easy to lose it out in la la la. Are you sure this what you really